Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Youtini Show, your one-stop shop for all things going on in Star Wars. I'm Eric here with Corey and Wes, and tonight, Andor Season 2 finally released its first trailer. We also have another High Republic audio original that's headed your way. Daisy Ridley continues to drop some new Jedi Order nuggets on our press tour, and we are going to look ahead at this week's two big releases, The Mask of Fear and The Rise of Skywalker adaptation. Yeah, no, it's coming. But to start us off tonight, I have a confession to make to all of you. We had an entire segment written about the lack of an Andor trailer. It was going to be our main point of conversation tonight, and we were going to see what in the world Lucasfilm was doing with their publicity. It was all written, there were bullet points and everything. And then 8 hours before going live, a miracle happened. The Andor Season 2 trailer is officially here. It is totally different than anything we've ever seen. But before we talk specifics, Corey, did we make this happen?
I don't know if we made this happen specifically, but I think Thrawny in our community made it happen.
I think so. Tell the folks what Thrawny, who I believe is with us tonight live. What did Thrawny do this morning?
Thrawny's in the chat. We had a very crazy. This is just a wild coincidence that this happened, which has happened a couple times, I guess, in our history with we write something that we're going to talk about in the ever-changing landscape of Star Wars content and news, which is impossible to keep up with because there's so much stuff happening all the time. It's just constantly changing. And Eric posted something about we're having the show tonight, and Thrawny popped in our channel and our community and was like, he said, I hope tonight's news is all about the Andor trailer that drops before the show is recorded, please, with the little like prayer hands or whatever.
Like a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke. That was at 9:43 a.m. Eastern time. And then literally a couple of hours later, they dropped the freaking trailer. And I don't know how you did this, Thrawny. I don't know if you're like a Lucasfilm plant, in our community, or if you have some kind of insider knowledge that maybe you haven't shared with us. But that was just insane that happened like that. Honestly, and Eric is not kidding. We literally had a whole segment we're going to talk about tonight. We were going to talk about. Do you guys remember that trailer that they shared at? Where did they share that at? Actually, is it D23?
It was D23, or it was Celebration London, or it was over a year ago at least. It might have been a year and a half ago. There was this trailer that got shown at a D23 a Celebration or something, and it's been online again now
for a year and a half.
Yeah,
somebody somebody filmed it with their phone in their lap.
Phone, yeah,
yeah, and it was one of those
appreciate that person, by the way.
I don't know how it's been up, but we talked about it. We did talk about that trailer on something when it came out. I feel like
because it looks really good. It's very classic Andor, and tonight was going to be all about guys.
Yeah,
we have this blurry trailer for a year, and they haven't sent us anything, and it's the shortest time between a trailer and a show. What are they doing?
Yeah,
exactly. And you will never see that show. Everyone, we will never make that show for you because we're talking about the trailer, the Andor Season 2 trailer. It arrived. It has a ton of footage. It has a very strong musical choice, which we'll talk about in a second.
I could feel the explicits and the curse words coming from you as soon as that trailer dropped. You had everything written out, ready to go for the show, and I was about to just go, "Hey, Eric, I just saw something on X that showed the." That showed the trailer. Do you just want to say that we didn't see the trailer and we're just going to say, oh, they didn't put the trailer out. Let's just do the whole show without knowing the trailer came out?
People, I think, who knows? They won't know, right? No one's following anything that's going on.
It's and then it just blew up. So obviously you had to change it. Thank you for changing. I'm sure everybody thanks you for changing it.
Oh, of course, because really, what else do I want to talk about? Andor, I have said repeatedly on this show, is my favorite Star Wars series there's been. All of us absolutely love it. But as I said, this trailer was very different as opposed to a typical Star Wars trailer, both in what we saw and what we heard. So before we get into specifics, what did you guys think of the trailer just as a trailer? Obviously, Andor's finally here. We're all relieved. What did you think of this trailer?
I thought it was sick, honestly. Yeah. I mean,
excellent.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. The music was crazy. Crazy choice for the music. The Revolution Starts Now by Steve Earle. I don't know who that is. Am I supposed to know who that is?
I didn't before today.
Steve Earle? Yeah, I know who Steve Earle is.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Are you lying?
If
I
it's
think
the
you're
same
lying.
country music Steve Earle, then yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, the song was uploaded to YouTube 7 years ago, is what I found out in my research as I was putting it up on the site. So, but yeah, an in English lyricked song behind a Star Wars trailer. We've had Huttese, remember they did Major Tom for Skeleton Crew, and Huttese were like, ooh, this is fun. But this is like dark, gritty Andor playing like an activist revolution song behind like rock and roll and explosions. Like
I like how it was different for sure. And that it was a bold choice. I mean, why not? You're gonna make, if this whole thing is about a revolution that's going to end in traumatic fashion, then this was a pretty good song to go with.
Yeah,
but
I just looked up. I just looked up Steve Earle, and the photo that
Steve Earles, I'm sure.
The photo that it shows when you Google Steve Earle looks like, it looks like, oh my gosh, it looks like Timothy Zahn, if he were a rock star. That's what he looks like. Google him right now, please.
You know what? I don't not see it. I don't not see it. I will give you that.
It looks like a sci-fi writer, except he has like a
grew
bunch
his
of
hair
bracelets and tattoos.
Okay, no, I cannot. So musician.
Oh, that's terrible.
Timothy Zahn wrote the Revolution hymn, and what I liked about this specifically, because in our community, aside from the whole, hey, there's a trailer and I'm a prophet thing going on, there was also, why did this happen? Why did we choose, as opposed to like the score of Andor is so amazing and so specific, why did we choose that instead? And Lando in our community, not Calrissian, but named after, mentioned that this could be maybe their idea to put like a James Gunn, Edgar Wright-esque trailer that might get more of a general audience involved. Might make people say, oh, this is like more superhero shows. This is like more sci-fi shows that I watch. Like, do you guys think there's anything to them wanting to maybe finally get people to watch Andor a bit more with the music choice? Or was it just Tony Gilroy being like, this is a show about revolution. We're doing a revolution song. The war is here. And that's all there is to it.
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Like, that was kind of the thought that I had too. It felt like a more mainstream like film thing, and like all the quotes that it kept showing throughout the the trailer.
Speak on that. That was new too.
Yeah, it was like talking about like Rolling Stone, Variety. Like there was that one thing. That like said like it called it Prestige TV or something like that. Like
I don't know, Emmy-worthy performances. Like really.
Yeah. This felt
like
a more mainstream like TV promotion, like the way that like Severance would be promoted. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Interesting choice for sure. I don't know. It certainly seems different than what it has before, but like I think they realized that they kind of have to do something different for this show because it didn't perform well the first season, but is like without a doubt like the best Star Wars that's ever been made. So
yeah, right. And I wondered that especially for Severance, because you recently got into Severance.
Yeah, I'm up to date.
That a lot.
We're in a war.
Yeah.
You want to fight?
Yeah, and a lot of people have been getting into it season 2, and it recently got announced last week that Severance is now overtaking Ted Lasso as the most watched Apple TV Plus show. Even though the first season didn't really do anything, they decided to really overpitch the second season. They had like live installations where the actors went to like Penn Station or something walking around. They like really pumped it up and put billboards everywhere. And now it's massive. And I'm like, oh my god, maybe this is obviously shooting too high. But could Andor actually be like, guys, if we tell you it's really good, watch it. Like, it's possible. It's possible.
It's not a bad, but I mean, a lot of the scenes that they put in this trailer are pretty wild, especially with like a couple of the TIE fighters that just unload on some stormtroopers and people just like sitting there. Like that was pretty nuts. There's like a lot of scenes here.
Remember this moment.
Hopefully, like a lot of these.
You're here,
you're
right
like, fight
here,
scenes
and you're ready to
are
fight.
In every one of the episodes, but I mean, that's wishful thinking. But
Let's pause for a second because the audience is telling us that the music is playing in the stream.
Yeah,
West.
you didn't mute the trailer, buddy. Love you dearly.
It's super loud. I just picked it up.
We're in a war. You want to fight?
All right,
Hold on.
I think we're good now. My apologies, everybody. Let me pull this. There we go.
We're gonna get our
There
first
it is.
copyright strike in months.
Oh my gosh, we've been so long and years.
There it goes.
And years. All right, we got it back.
Right, yeah, sounds good.
It was all
Sorry,
the good
I'll-
stuff, guys. All right, start from the top. Welcome to the Youtini show, everybody. This is no. Yeah, we were just saying. I think that if there's any show that can pull a Severance type renaissance, that can be like, hey, season 1, no one saw it, but everyone that did loved it, and then we had to wait. Literally, it was 2022 as well. It was like 3 years between seasons for Severance as well. Andor really has a chance to do it here. I think that this trailer shows that they clearly didn't pull back on any budget either. Like, I mean, there are more action scenes, more planets. Like, I feel like Tony Gilroy knew that he had 1 season left to make. And he's like, cool. What's the check? How high can I push this? Because this is an expensive looking show. Corey, you mentioned privately we were talking about one of the shots of like the ship like going across a field and like it looked like movie quality.
I know.
Starfighter
that shot that looks like it looks like a GoPro is like mounted on the missile silo basically.
Yeah.
And it like swoops in and shoots that tank thing. Like was awesome. That's like one of my favorite shots I've ever seen in Star Wars. I hope it's actually in the show. Sometimes they don't put the shots like in the like in the actual show, but
that'd be such a Tony Gilroy move. That's like, hey, we're gonna spend $20 million in this shot. He's like, I don't know. I got this scene of 2 people in a kitchen talking. I want to make it a little longer. I think we gotta cut it.
I don't.
I gotta let it go.
Yeah, I mean, this just like I will say that the tone of this this season doesn't feel like the first season. Like our community right now is in the middle of our rewatch, and we are I think on episode 4. I think we're like watching 1 episode a week and like talking about it and stuff in our community, and it's been fun. I've never rewatched a Star Wars show, which is crazy. A live action show.
I think same actually.
Yeah, I've never rewatched the show before.
Yeah, it's too much to watch.
Insane. I think I've tried to start season 1 of Mandalorian multiple times, and I've made it to like episode 3, and I just forget, and then I don't watch it anymore for whatever reason. Yeah. And I watched a couple first episodes of Kenobi a while back too, and also didn't finish that one either. But anyway, yeah. So we're rewatching the show, and like I don't know, the vibe is just very different. Like that show just starts off so like mysterious and like does so much character development for Cassian early on. And like this trailer just feels like Rogue One. Like it straight up feels like Rogue One. It's like Krennic is in it. There's the Death Star. Like there's a ton of stormtroopers. Like
a lot of Saw.
Were there any stormtroopers?
A couple images of Saw in there. So that was great.
In season 1.
I'm trying to remember if there was.
You guys in the chat, can you tell us if there were stormtroopers?
Maybe Rick's Road, but I don't know if they brought them at the end to Rick's Road. That's my only thought.
That's the only place I would think they would be. Is they were patrolling.
Maybe.
Yeah, but like, this is very action forward, and even the few pieces of dialogue in the trailer, like Cassian is like, do you want to fight or do you want to win? And he's all big like there, and then Saw is like, you're here, like you're gonna fight, like here's like we are going to be a revolution. Like most of the dialogue is the song lyrics, weirdly enough, that are speaking to what's going on. Like this, we're watching the trailer again for our audio folks here. Like Cassian and Bix walking away and just exploding a building behind them, like ships being blown out of the sky. Like there's so much going on, and I think this speaks to the format, which is the second part of the announcement that I think got people a little bit more divided. So the format of the show we've known for a while was going to be 4 arcs of 3 episodes each. It was going to be 3 episodes, a year break, 3 episodes, a year break, 3 episodes, a year break, right? So we knew that we were getting to Rogue One, but it turns out they are going to essentially show us a full 3-episode movie each week for 4 weeks. We're not getting 12 weeks of Andor. We're getting 4 weeks of 3 episodes, 3 episodes, 3 episodes. So every Wednesday night or Tuesday night, you're going to get a full Star Wars movie in Andor style for a month.
3 episode drop a night.
Yes.
Dude, that's nuts, isn't it?
It's insane. I don't know if it's good. I still don't know where I land on it. That's why I'm going to talk to you about it on the show.
Me neither.
Because it's nuts.
Wes, did you when Andor came out the first time, did you like watch every episode at a time, or were you kind of in the camp that like you put it off a little bit and then watch like 2 episodes?
No,
a lot of people did that.
I watched every night. I am
Okay.
one of the old folks that remember the time when shows came out live and you had to be there. And if you weren't there, you missed out. And hopefully you set your VCR.
Starting!
Hopefully
Wes,
you set
it's
the VCR.
Or
you
you
knew somebody that had a VCR. That was taping
You're
it.
missing it.
Yeah,
Wes, you're missing it.
Your stories are on. Yeah,
Pay
so
during the commercials.
that's kind of the hang up that I have is I want it to come out once a week. I want to be hanging at the edge of my seat on, say, Tuesday, ready for it to come out on Wednesday or whatever day it comes out on. But I mean, I got these 3. What time does it come out? Is it going to come out at midnight?
Here's the question. My opinion is they're gonna do an 8 p.m. or 7 because they've been doing like the 9 p.m. or so's. And if you're doing 3 episodes, they're each 45 minutes. That's like a little over 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I think 8 Eastern is my official. I'm putting it on the docket. I think 8 Eastern is when they're gonna come out. But I have no idea.
That's a lot of time to carve out in a work week. To be honest with you,
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is a lot of time. That's what I think. I mean, this is. I am shocked they're doing this. Like, this is like the most. I'm like pretty. You know how I'm interested in like the streaming numbers and kind of the business of this a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, this is very interesting. It's clear that somebody like really deep dived into the data and the analytics of like the streaming numbers of this and just like begged to take the report up the chain of command.
Yeah.
Like, you ever see one of those movies where like there's like one guy that figures out, that the Challenger rocket's gonna explode. Like, one guy figures it out and he's like a low level employee and he has to like take it all the way up. That's like the whole theme of the movie.
No, it's the guy from Rogue One. That's like Senator, Senator.
Yeah. Yes.
They're going
exactly.
to Scarif.
Exactly. That's what happened. Yes, that's what happened. Like, some guy was like, "Listen, I have the answer to fixing Andor. I have the report. It's in the reports." And like, nobody wants to read the report. Like, that's literally what happened with this. And they got it in front of the right person, I guess, and they decided to do this. This is I don't think ever been done before.
No,
has
'cause
any
they did
streaming service, not even just Disney, right? Has any streaming service ever done this before?
Stranger Things.
No, it's all dropped at once.
Okay, yeah, right.
And they did do like a second half drop like later in the summer.
But that's still
with
together.
That was weird, and that was like an editing or post production issue.
Yeah, because Andor did the first 3 the first day, but then they did episode. But I still remember that first day of Andor when I watched all 3 of them twice in the same day because I was so blown away. But doing that now every week, there's a couple possibilities. One, you're gonna get we're gonna get full stories. You're gonna be able to watch a full 3 episode arc. And the way it's been directed, it's 1 director per arc and it's 1 writer per arc. So it's gonna be a full story. That's awesome. Like, as a consumer of content, that's great. But then for coverage, I mean, again, we cover everything, Youtini.com and all the socials. Like, we cover Star Wars TV. I don't know how to review this because are we reviewing a movie a week? How do you talk about which Easter eggs matter? How do you talk about which scenes matter? That's so much content. And then you got to start over in a week. And also on a subscriber level, once it's 4 weeks or up, you have no incentive to keep people.
I mean, maybe, but
also,
I don't know that we've ever seen, like, there's not many shows that I can think of that are so clearly in arcs like this. Like, this was really one of the things that we really loved about.
No, this is insane.
That's what we loved about season 1, right? There's very clear, the writing was just phenomenal, and the plot just feels.
This is great. For the show, I think it's great.
It felt really good. But do you remember that? Like, do you remember like everybody begging and pleading, like you just have to keep watching Andor? Like, it picks up at at episode 3. Like, we all had to do that.
Don't fall off. Don't fall off.
Yeah.
Yes, we told everybody you have to watch all 3 at once because people were like, "Yeah, I watched Andor, but I don't know, I didn't really get it." I'm like, what?
yeah. It's earnestly shocking.
Exactly. So we told everybody you have to watch like 3 episodes at a time, and like Disney just fixed it for us. Like, we don't have to say that anymore.
Yeah, maybe
it's 4 movies basically.
They structure it that way. Maybe they structure it this way, but are they doing it because they don't want it to overlap with another show that's coming out? Because if it was,
I don't know.
And I couldn't think of anything that even if it did overlap something that it would surpass what
Yeah.
Andor is. So
yeah, and, well,
that's
they're different.
Interesting.
I think it'll briefly overlap with Daredevil, but like by a week or two. But I don't get like. Well, Thrani in the chat does put up an interesting point. There is also a possibility that it is one episode a week, and they worded the post improperly in the article, which
Negates
to their
the last
credit,
10 minutes of this podcast. I'm sorry.
no, nothing negates anything. Everything we say is solid gold, Wes. How dare you? But I'm gonna pull up the official wording, and I'm gonna read this again to you guys, and let's see how this sounds. Okay. Creator and executive producer Tony Gilroy has shared that this season will follow Cassian's journey in the 4 years leading up to the events of Rogue One, with the 12-episode story unfolding in 4 weekly chapters of 3 episodes each. No, it's 4 weeks, 3 each. I mean, that is... unless they Grammarly just destroyed that on the edit. I feel like that is how you have to do it. But most importantly, Corey, I don't know if you've realized this, you're probably going to get the first full Andor movie at Celebration on the big screen.
I mean, surely I hope so, and I hope I win the lottery to do that. Because,
yeah, that's going to be the best thing.
That will be a lottery 100%. And I haven't really looked much into the JG on our team is the guy that knows all the insider secrets for Celebration, right? But I don't know anything about like the capacity or stuff. I famously despise the lottery system for for Celebration. I wish it was a marketplace and not a lottery. Like I wish that like everybody could like purchase a spot to go into some of the things and could like trade them or something like that. It would be so much better than this random crap. Like we went to Celebration in Chicago and I didn't get into a single
It's going to be rough. But I have faith in you.
I don't know. I kind of like the lottery system.
I don't know. I still don't believe that we got it in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I still don't believe that like this is now Andor publicity season. Like going ahead, we have to assume that they are full steam ahead now with Andor. Like we have 2 months left. It's the only project coming out. The trailer is here, so now we're going to be in the land of TV spots. Now we're going to be in the land of second trailers. Now we're going to be in the land of teasers. Like,
right.
I feel like this shows they're going to have a dedication to the real publicity of the show now that they've kind of broken the seal, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly seems that way. It's just kind of shocking that we're here, like that this is here. I hope that Star Wars can do this again one day. I mean, the season is not even over yet, and I already feel melancholy about it ending because, like, the bar is just so freaking high, and it just hit us so hard the first time that we got to experience this, and I hope that Star Wars can pull this off again, like one day. Like we've just never. The writing is just so good. Star Wars is famous for its bad writing. So.
We love it, but there's some stuff that doesn't work, and that's okay.
I know. I just hope that they can pull this off again one day. And like, as we all know, the numbers and the money is what makes all the decisions happen. And if season 2 crashes and burns, then like they won't do it again, and like that sucks. And part of me does worry about that too, because like it's really hard for a second season to outperform a first season, almost universally.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully. That if this is the gamble they're taking and they're like, cool, you know what Star Wars fans want? They want movies. They want full stories, and they don't want this episodic thing anymore. Maybe that's the thing, and it works. And what if for 4 weeks, for 4 blissful weeks, we come out of Star Wars Celebration, which is historically the best time to be a Star Wars fan because everyone's on a high, and we get 4 weeks straight of a new Star Wars movie that just rips, and everyone watches it on the night it comes out, and then the water cooler the next day is great, and there's not even enough time to be whiny and complaining because there's another Star Wars movie next Tuesday, and that's just a month. Like,
it sounds.
That's the hope.
Is there another chance of a Star Wars TV show that has the finality at the end like Andor does, where like some of the shows that we've watched? It's kind of open-ended, right? There can always be something that happens at the end of the show. It can go off and do something else, but there is some finality to Andor. Is there something else that they can do that they could create a TV show to where there's a structure like Andor, but that you know that it's going to end at the end of, and they tell you like into season 3, end of season 1, maybe, even, something like that.
Yeah, they can tell the political story of the separatists in the Clone Wars, and they're gonna be like, you know what, the final episode is on Mustafar. All right, that's where it's all gonna end.
They got their final meeting, and you're just following those guys the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Or
Separatist
it's
council.
The Emperor, he told us we would be safe here.
or it's
Directed by Tony Gilroy. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
Or it's like the build up to the pod racing, right? So they've trained for so long, they've got all their parts put together, and they're finally gonna be there for that one race that's obviously Sebulba's gonna win, right? And then boom.
That's funny. It's Drive to Survive, except it's
Yes,
pod racing, and
exactly.
Sebulba is
Well,
Lewis Hamilton.
That's it. See? All these
It writes
things
itself.
themselves. Cowards. Yeah. But I think, earnestly, at the end of the day, Andor is special for so many reasons. But I think you nailed it there, Wes. Like, it is special because it's had finality since the beginning. They've known exactly where they're going, and now they're like, cool, even with this new format, it's the same story. And they have the same storytellers handling their own stories. And now we have footage, so keep watching it. If you haven't watched it 8 times already, did you really see it? I don't think so. Make sure you go keep watching that Andor trailer, and we'll, of course, keep you posted with everything else that is coming out about it over the years, or year/2 months until the show comes out. We're in like less than 60 days. But before we go any further, we do want to take a quick second to let you know that this episode is brought to you by The United, the official Youtini community. And by joining The United, you'll not only receive ad-free shows and exclusive merch drops, you'll get unlimited access to our Discord, where apparently you can see fortune tellers full of enthusiastic Star Wars fans that want nothing more than to welcome you. Filled with daily conversations, weekly polls, and monthly events, The United is powered by a community of intentional positivity, and that makes it the best place for you to celebrate your fandom and engage with fans who love everything you do the way that you do. And by heading to youtini.com/community, you can sign up for a whole year of The United and save 15% when you use code YOUTINISHOW. That's code YOUTINISHOW, one word, for 15% off your first year of The United. So head over now and get signed up to check out our amazing events and connect with your favorite podcast hosts. Thank you again to everyone in our community for their incredible support. And now, back to the show. All right, now let's acknowledge the publicity woes of Star Wars a little more, shall we? By going on to acknowledge a new project that has so little time between the announcement and release that it's almost already here. Yes, in fact, I am talking about the High Republic Haunted Starlight by George Mann. This is another upcoming High Republic audio original from Audible that we discovered last week, and it's almost here. Literally, it drops next week. Fellas, this is now the 3rd Audible Shadow drop we've had with zero fanfare from both the publisher or the company. Does it make any more sense than it did the first time? Have we figured out why they're doing this?
No, it doesn't make any sense. Like,
It's disrespectful to
Terrible.
the authors. Is what it is. Like,
What if you're not listening to our show? You won't know.
I love calling things disrespectful. It's one of my favorite. That's my favorite. It happens in like sports commentary a lot. Like, it's disrespectful, honestly.
That's the Southerner in you too. Like, oh,
is.
disrespectful. It's
It is disrespectful to the authors. Like, so much freaking work goes into this, and like they just like
yeah, and the voice
silently
actors
push
too.
this.
If it's these,
Yes.
audibles like.
Yeah.
Audibles,
Oh,
but
this is a
audio
single
dramas.
narrator though. To be fair, so it's one guy getting all the disrespect,
Well,
100%
yeah.
to one dude.
Oh, he's taking on the full brunt. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's
The
completely
brunt.
disrespectful. All right. Anyway, yeah, this is wild. I can't believe they keep doing this. And I'm, what is this, the 3rd one that we've seen like this? I think
Yeah,
the 3rd
so-
one where we just find out like out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
They did the Padawan's Pride one, which was not High Republic, but then they did Seeds of Starlight, which is George Mann, basically part 1 of this. And this is George Mann, same narrator, same character on the cover. We got Cam Linden, who's a Padawan. This is part 2. So a lot of people said that Seeds of Starlight didn't feel finished. It's like, well, apparently, here you go. It was part 2. So this
You
is
know what? You know what I just realized actually?
What's that?
Is that this actually doesn't feel like typical Star Wars marketing, but you know what this does reek of is Amazon marketing.
Say more.
And Amazon owns Audible. Amazon has
Yes,
famously,
Yeah.
Amazon has famously entered into a lot of different genres in the last couple of years. They tried to get into gaming a while back and
Right.
Yep.
lost a
Prime Gaming's
freaking
still
fortune
around.
in gaming.
Yep.
They've spent an absolute fortune on original TV and have been
Yep.
mildly successful, but not really.
okay. Right.
Right? Like Amazon famously tried to get into stuff. Maybe this is like Amazon trying to like push Audible a little harder with these Audible originals because there's a fair amount of Audible originals on there now, and none of them are like amazing usually. That sounds terrible, but that's true.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff is just not like anyway. So I wonder if this is Amazon. Like, what if they reached out to maybe like Lucasfilm or Lucasfilm Press or whatever and was like, "Hey, we want to promote some Amazon original. Here's a suitcase full of money. Can you make it happen?"
And Star Wars says, yes, of course.
Yes, of
Absolutely, we
course.
will, yeah.
And but now the onus is on Audible to actually promote and deal with it, and they don't at all because they never
No.
promote any of their. The only promotion you see of anything that's Audible original is on the little homepage for Audible, like in the app.
Yeah. And I gotta say, like, we find out about this. Usually, our buddy Jacob, who is the co-host on the Cosmic Force, he is like on top of everything on like Twitter, even more than we are. But then our buddy Trev actually found this on the High Republic subreddit, posted it. So like, you have to find like guerrilla ways of figuring out these things exist. I mean, it sounds cool as a story. Like, it's got a really short synopsis. It says, days after the Jedi stationed on the oceanic world of Irem have seemingly neutralized any threats to the local people, mysterious growths begin to overtake the city. When the Jedi make a connection to the sunken wreckage of Starlight Beacon, they're forced to embark on a thrilling underwater adventure where the gloomy depths hide horrors at every turn. And the cover art clearly shows, slight spoilers for Phase 3, but this book came out like 2 years ago. It looks like a Drengir coming up from the depths. So it sounds like a really cool, fun little story. I like it.
It
algae, probably deserves to be heard.
It's not Drengir. It's an algae monster that's similar to Drengir.
Who's the Jedi Master?
Wasn't there like a DC Comics villain that was like Swamp Monster or
Swamp
something
Thing.
like that?
Swamp
Thing. That's who
Swamp
I'm thinking
Thing.
of. That's who he's fighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fighting Swamp Thing. Look at that lightsaber underwater there.
Throwback. Let's say
Yeah.
that's one of my that might be one of my hot takes or uncontroversial opinions. Is I hate the lightsabers being underwater. I hate it.
Oh, you don't like that? You like in the what was it, that arc with Kit Fisto and Jar Jar? The Clone
Yes,
Wars?
yes. And like, don't they like bubble a little bit or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
like
Kit
this is like a.
Fisto's- That's what
Can you
that
imagine
is.
how terrible that would be for like the lightsabers? Like they're electronics and they're like underwater. Like you cannot tell me that all the lightsabers are pneumatically sealed. All right, you just can't. I just don't believe it.
They did that now.
I don't
They
believe
assemble them
it.
with the force in like in front of them in the sky. Like they're not
Mechanisms.
sealed. There's no O-rings and the little thing that they're putting together. Where are the O-rings, Aaron?
This is broken. Where are the O-rings? You know where they are? They're with the bricks and the screws that everyone also hates about Star Wars. The O-rings. Oh my god. That's what you need in your Sebulba pod racing one. The guy who water seals certain parts of them with O-rings just to be like, well, you never know.
You know, that'd be a good line to like give the droid. What's the lightsaber droid guy that lives on the ship that was in Ahsoka? What's his name?
Professor Hu Yang.
Yeah. That'd be a good line to give him like casually in the background or something. He's like, it's the aquatic species. Their lightsabers are the biggest pain in the butt to build because you're water sealed. Like that'd be great.
And it's such a simple ask. Then it's great. Problem solved.
Does
That
it
helps
not-
my brain.
Problem
Does it not heat up the water around you and just starts to boil?
I know.
Like you can't.
Well, you know what?
You can't have it all.
If you have an Audible subscription, you might be able to find out.
I know.
What if it's
Yeah,
in there,
exactly.
Corey?
Apparently,
What if George already thought about it?
I really dislike those episodes in Clone Wars too. I don't know why. I just really
They're silly.
they're so silly. The villain is a shark monster.
shark head?
which is
Yeah.
like, oh my
he's
god,
so
that's
bad.
just like-
Shark Man.
he looks like the guy in Harry Potter in the fourth movie that
In
turns his head
Crumb?
into a shark. Crumb. Looks
Yeah.
like Victor Crumb.
Oh
If I
my
remember
gosh.
correctly,
No,
I think-
his name is Riff Tamson. It's almost like
that sounds
Biff,
like a wrestler you
Biff
would have loved
Tanner.
as a child, Wes.
It sounds like Biff Tanner from Back to the Future.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Riff is honestly perfect. Yeah, and then all the non-aquatic Jedi wear those goofy astronaut
helmets. Yeah.
spacesuit things underwater, and they're like, "You're telling me we're all just gonna like save the galaxy just by swimming underwater, and that's just fine." Like, I am more okay with like the outside of the ship space stuff that we get in Clone Wars than I am.
Waters.
swimming hundreds of feet under the water. It would kill them. You can't survive underwater. Anyway, all right. We're
well, and
it's
it's
not
so
the
funny
same type of water. All right, it's not Earth
It's
water.
different.
It's different.
Grow up.
It's less
it's
dense.
space water. Idiot.
It's just disrespectful, honestly.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, you're
To get
disrespecting my.
The disrespect. I had to double check this. Yeah, those episodes start season 4. That's like it was off the air and then it comes back season premiere and it's like Water War.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make sure you
Clone
start
Wars.
watching in season 3 because season 4 is really when it starts going really good.
You're really good, yeah. So,
Oh,
so about this audio drama here, you mentioned, Corey, like Amazon is kind of making this the ecosystem, and I think that's possible. But I think one thing that I'm seeing a lot whenever one of these drop, a lot of the community gets excited about them. Like New High Republic stuff is always fun, especially as the years go on. We're gonna get less. A lot of people dislike the Audible exclusivity for a couple reasons. I mean, one, a lot of folks do follow Star Wars through their own library, like Libby, Hoopla, or Physical. Like, so this completely makes that inaccessible to folks that get Star Wars in the library, and also folks that just don't do well with audiobooks, whether it be it's hard to focus or like you just don't like stories that way. Like, there's no way to actually just see them. I don't think Amazon doesn't care. To be clear, Amazon doesn't care at all. Do you think there is a possibility that, like, maybe after we get 4 of these, there's going to be like a collection of like, and here's the Audible short stories are all collected in one bound edition, or
a physical edition? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think
Yeah,
that
or
would be a
is
bad
Amazon
idea at
gonna
all.
say-
Yeah. Kind of
or is
bundle it
Amazon just going
together.
to say go
I
eat
don't know.
rocks?
I don't know. This is
Go
like
eat rocks.
Go eat
is
rocks.
this is totally uncharted territory. So honestly, I have no
Yeah.
freaking idea what they'll possibly do with this. Honestly,
Yeah, maybe.
which is a weak
Yeah.
answer, but like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
is
mean,
a-
maybe.
It is a scheme for people to sign up for Audible and they forget that they sign up for it and they catch a.
Right.
They'll get a $15, heads up from everybody until they cancel it. But, but I mean, if it's a good story, it's a good story.
They're also like not really related, right? All these Audible originals have nothing to do with each other,
Yeah,
right?
these are
It
the
doesn't
first
sound
2
like
that
it.
are. That these 2 are being sequels because George wrote both of them, and they are clearly a part 1 and 2. But yeah, most of them are just one shots. And if you feel like you want some for a while, grab a free trial, jump in, or again, pay $15, get like 3 or 4. Get your money's worth, and then hop on. Like, it's easy to hop in and out. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it
guess.
works. Again, this does come out though. I mentioned it was pretty quick. This comes out March 6th. So like very soon, like at the end of next week, you can get your hands on Cam Lindon's latest adventure. So make sure to go check that out if you haven't already. And let us know how it is, because I'll be honest, I let my Audible subscription lapse. So I'll probably get to it.
I still have mine. Caitlin listens to audiobooks like crazy. She listened to like 150 books or something stupid last year. Like, so
She's a rocks. I got a lot of mine. I got a year because I did the whole like I'm gonna leave, and they're like, no, you have a half price year, and I go, okay. So I got all the exclusive to Audible ones, but now I'm gonna try a mixture of the Spotify 15 hours and Libby with my Audible credits, and we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you all posted. I won't go into our Discord for that. I'll put it in the books channel.
Yeah, they'll inform you that you can also pause your membership, so don't forget about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can
so
pause
many
it,
options,
and then
So-
just
you
sign
can
up,
also
why not?
you can also do every other month, which is what I've been doing for like 5 years.
I've done that
honestly.
before as well.
Yeah.
So easy. So many options. Not a sponsor, but they could be. CEO at Youtini.com.
I mean, we
All
do
right.
get affiliate money if you sign
That's
up for
true.
our.
True.
Yeah, we still have that on our website. It's a really annoying pop up that, but
Yeah,
every
go
time
for
somebody
free.
signs up for an Audible trial, they give us like $15 or something like that, which is great. So, go sign up for Audible.
Yeah, now
free
we're like-
audiobook with
Yeah, we're
Youtini.
stepping this one back.
Well, now that I thought about it.
It's Audible original. I mean, how often do we get original Star
That's
Wars
kind of
stories?
amazing,
I mean,
actually.
actually, yeah.
Oh God. All right, just delete. Okay. All right, so yeah, March 6th. Let us know how that is. We will keep you posted, of course, with any other new Audible shadow drops that happen to come, because you never know. They might come while we're recording this show. But a couple weeks back, we got news that Daisy Ridley's upcoming Rey film got a brand new writer in the form of George Nolfi. We talked about it a lot. He was one of the Ocean's writers. We spoke at length about the renewed faith, though, that move gave us in the project. Well, since then, Daisy Ridley has been putting in the work on her current press tour for Cleaner, which is like her own stab at a John Wick-style action film. So naturally, she's continually asked about Star Wars on the trail, and perhaps her biggest note by far has been, quote, "The wait will be worth it." Which is cool, which was interesting. Now, Wes, as our resident Rey expert, what do you think about this approach to the upcoming film? Is Rey simply adopting the mantra of Anakin by saying, patience? I say patience.
I believe so. I also believe it'd be great if she used some of her skills from working in the cleaner and had a John Wick style Jedi that she taught. That she taught. Maybe along the lines of Corey's one of Corey's favorite lightsabers, Ezra Brooks' first lightsaber with the gun on it.
Oh my God!
Ezra Bridges, the Glock,
Ezra
the Glock
Bridges.
saber.
I hate that lightsaber so freaking much. I've been planning on. I got a 3D printer this year. I've been planning on like starting to print a bunch of lightsabers, and like I found this one guy on like Thingiverse that has like all the lightsabers, and he specifically has the Ezra one. I'm like, oh, I'm looking at all these. I'm like, scroll. I'm gonna make that one. Make that. Skip. Make that one. Make that one.
It's just so ridiculous. It's great.
it.
Although, why is that? Why, real quick, because last week we talked about the lightsaber rifle, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We all agree that's awesome. Why is the Glock saber lame, but the lightsaber rifle is awesome?
Because it's not even like a blaster rifle. It shoots
It's
like
a stunner. It's a stun gun, isn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't like
so.
shoot like. But it's not even like a full stun blast either. It shoots little. It doesn't
He's
knock
a
them
kid,
out
Corey.
all the way.
You're not
I
trying
know
to-
because
Why doesn't he murder more?
It's like the equivalent of a slingshot for a child. All right.
well, he carried a slingshot
He
for a
carried
while.
slingshot. All right, never mind then.
Turned a slingshot into a Glock.
That's right. He
That's
did.
why it's dumb because it's a gun that shoots rocks out of it. Like it's ridiculous. It's like he built a slingshot. It's like one of those like rubber band shooters. You ever seen those?
Yes,
like,
yeah.
It's like,
But it also
yeah.
has a very deadly lightsaber in it at the same
course.
time.
right, exactly.
So
I'm sorry. Getting back to the Rey movie.
the Rey movie.
I am thrilled that she says that it's worth the wait, which means I hope that they are taking their time with this.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm getting.
I also hope that doesn't mean that they've had some setbacks, which means like if you see that it's going to take a little longer to make, don't get frustrated because there's some strategy going on behind the scenes that's going to make this well worth it.
There were some rumors flying around that I read on the internet this week about like some I forgot what it was. What was the big rumor this week? It was like that they were going back to redo some things kind of last minute is kind of what I heard. It wasn't like reshoots, I guess.
Yeah,
it was like rewriting.
I mean,
It was
they
rewriting,
haven't
I think.
started anything on it as far as
That's right.
practical
That's
shots
shooting.
go. But
Yeah,
yeah, like rewriting with
but, like,
Nolfi and
Like if you're not done writing, is rewriting,
you're
or
still
is
going.
is it just writing?
Well, that's the question because like the writer before Nolfi, who's Stephen Knight, he wrote for Peaky Blinders and stuff. He was actually asked about this. Might have been where that came from because he was asked about do you think any of your work will be used on the film? Which, real quick side note, he was promoting something else. If you tell a writer that might have gotten fired from his last job, like, hey, do you think they're going to use your stuff? Kind of rude. I'm just going to say, like, that's like, hey, I know you got fired from Star Wars. Do you think they'll still use your IP?
Eric,
Anyway, he did.
not just rude. It's not just rude.
What is it, Wes?
It's disrespectful.
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 It's disrespectful, honestly. We need to start saying that about everything on the show.
Oh,
It's
it's
like,
a thing now.
That's a shirt,
Yeah.
and we're gonna start
That's the
wearing
next
it.
shirt. Disrespectful.
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 that's
So
funny.
he did, though, say respectfully. He responded. He said, "quote I fully expect that substantial amounts of what I did will be in the movie. Who knows? But that's the expectation." And I think that's a graceful way. Again, I didn't hear his tone, so I don't know if he was like, "Well, I expect substantial amounts of what I did are going to be in the movie,"
Yeah.
or it could
He's like,
be
I got paid for something, so I assume they're going to use it. Is what he said.
Yeah. But it sounds like with the combination of these quotes and with Daisy Ridley's attitude, they're not starting at zero with Nolfi, which it makes sense. They were never going to. But it sounds like there's not like pressure on their neck to get it out. And I think that's kind of what we keep asking for. This whole thing with the Andor release schedule. Cool, we're actually getting full stories. Okay, that is kind of what we asked for, just maybe not in the package we thought. And now this Rey thing is patience. They're letting us do it in our own time, so it's going to be delayed. Okay, that is what we asked for, but maybe not in the package we want. Like, maybe they are listening, and it's just taking a while for it to kind of sink in. Because if Daisy is just saying, "Hey, I'm not stressed," like, we're not gonna. It'll be ready. We'll get there when we get there, as you would say. In a
I don't
road trip,
care.
you know?
I don't care if this movie takes like 6 more years to create. If it's
Me
like
neither.
well written and it's really
No.
good, like I don't care. Like make
No.
it good. Like I don't want to relive the sequel trilogy again. Please God, I don't know if I can do that again. It's a Star Wars.
Just have a plan.
fan.
Just have a plan, man.
I just want to like my Star Wars. I want everybody else to mostly like my Star Wars too. Like that's literally it. Like
This kind of dampens my hopes for a movie title reveal at Star Wars Celebration, though.
Zero.
Celebration?
I think maybe Daisy will be there. I have changed from John Boyega might come out on stage and reunite to now being like,
No
I
way.
don't know if Daisy's gonna be
Pulls
there.
up on a Zoom call. It's like we got Daisy on Zoom. She's just rolling out of bed because she's in maybe Europe and it's Japan.
it's like a clearly recorded video.
Oh
and it's
no!
like,
Yeah.
I know they're talking and they're
She's
like,
reading
yeah, I
yesterday's-
just
last week's newspaper.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
But what if it was live? She just goes, "Oh yeah, we're calling it new Jedi Order." Okay, bye guys. And then title
Oh
card.
no!
Yeah, no.
Probably.
I
hope
think
not.
again, take their time. Her quote, "It's going to be worth the wait." Of course it is. Like for those of us that are open to it being good, because it's like Corey, you said, I want most people to like my Star Wars. No matter what this is, it's not going to be good enough for some people because of their own sad lives. That's fine. Everyone that is open to a good story, I think this is the best way to do it. So take your time, keep writing. Maybe keep George. Maybe this is the last writer though. That would be cool. I'd feel good about that. And keep it rocking, and we will, of course, watch it whenever it hits. Okay, everybody, after a night now of talking speculation and what we're missing, we want to end the show real quick by highlighting 2 incredible projects that are coming out this week. 2 that we've actually been looking forward to quite a bit. We had Alexander Freed's The Mask of Fear. The novel arrives on the 25th, which is tomorrow as of recording. And then the longer-rated Rise of Skywalker comic adaptation arrives over 5 years after the film's release on Wednesday. But starting with The Mask of Fear first, as we focused on it quite a bit already last week, Corey, Wes, we talked about our interview with Freed. We talked about what we're excited for about the book. Now that we're on the eve of release, how is your hype level?
I'm really excited for this because I just started a job that has a 20-minute commute every day. And I've been blowing through the 4th Brandon Sanderson book that I can never literally ever remember the name of. What is it called? Rhythm of War. I see the title every single day twice, and I still can't remember the damn title. Yes, I'm really stoked for this because I'm going to get to do the audiobook, and I feel like this is going to be one of those books that like hits really hard. And like, I don't know, it's something about driving and listening to a book. Like it just kind of bookends your day nicely. I feel like
I love it.
You're grumpy when you wake up in the morning, you're drinking your coffee, you can kind of get into it. And then at the end of the day, it's been a crappy day at work and you're like, all right, you have something to look forward to on your way home.
Yeah.
I'm stoked, man. I think it's going to be a really good and it's timed perfectly with Andor coming out. Like, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick this one up in physical copy. I'm currently reading Dune. I am about 80 pages in, and I did realize that. I mean, what is it? So it's taken them 60 years, or taking me 60 years to figure out that there's cliff notes on it. So after I read a chapter and I forget what the hell I read, I can go back to cliff notes for, I can skim it for 30 seconds and be like, oh, okay, that's what happened. I figured out some details in Dune that I didn't even know was supposed to be happening. So
funny.
Beautiful.
Now I have good momentum to finish that book and then be able to pick this one up. So I anticipate finishing in the next couple weeks, and then I'm gonna pick up Mask of Fear, and I think, is it on? All right, tell me this. Here's another one. Is it on Audible?
It is narrated by January Lavoie.
Okay.
Who is a fantastic narrator. Now, for those of you tuning in live tonight, you'll see this on the site tomorrow. We put up a review every time there's a new book release. We'll have a full review. I highly encourage you to check that out. It is spoiler free, but I will tell you the rating of the book. Just for tuning in, just say thank you very much. This book, with our review team, officially got a masterpiece rating.
Oh, right.
It's the first adult novel masterpiece rating, I think, since The Fallen Star.
Wow.
So
I think we have less than Don't we have like I think we have 10, like less than 10. I'm pretty sure.
There's less than 20 at least. There might be like 12 or so of all the Star Wars books ever. This was with the team together. I checked over all the notes, and to tell you anything, if you know me, I was probably the lowest on it of our people, and so it got a masterpiece rating. It is a truly deep work. Again, if you're planning on reading it, I don't always plug like my own review writing. I'm very proud of it, but I highly recommend go check it out tomorrow, because if you don't quite know what you're getting into, I try to paint the picture a little bit of what to expect on the larger scale. It's a lot of book, but it's really important, yet not on the nose. But there was anyway, it got a masterpiece rating. We're very excited about it. So go check that out. And if you haven't yet, make sure you listen to our interview with Alexander Freed. That's in the podcast feed to get you primed and ready as well.
And this is very non-reader-esque of me, but I had to look it up because I do it all the time. There's 496 pages. So
it's
just
thick.
take that as you will.
It is a
big boy.
Big boy. So get that wherever you get your books. Again, with your digital, with your percentages, get it from your library, use your Spotify hours, whatever you want to do. But secondly, the weird release of the week. You guys might remember episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. You know that movie that came out in 2019?
Which one?
2019.
Oh, yeah, it's episode 9, 2019, the pre-COVID movie, The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
So, it had a comic adaptation, and that was announced because, movies come out, shows come out, and they make comics about them. Oh my gosh, amazing. Absolutely. It was originally scheduled to come out on June 1st, 2020. This comic is coming out, and it's coming out instead February 26, 2025. 5 years they've been sitting on this book. And it's coming out.
Why?
Literally sitting on it.
What?
Didn't realize what they were sitting on.
I think somebody was sitting on it. They were like kind of short, and the company wouldn't buy them an office chair, so they just put some books in a stack, and they're like, "Oh shit, I was supposed to publish this."
Yes.
Like, it's clearly been done, right? Like, at least mostly done. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people getting excited about it because, like, I think the novelization was actually quite good for Rise of Skywalker. I think
for sure.
It explains some stuff. It is one of the stronger novelizations. I remember reviewing that one together, actually.
Ray Carson did that one. It was really good. But I don't know. We got Andor coming. The High Republic is ending. We're doing post-Return of the Jedi stuff for the first time.
It just seems it was misplaced. It was just misplaced. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Or they're just trying to put out various eras at the same time. So if you don't like one era of content that's coming out, whether it be Andor, whether it be Mask of Fear, which is kind of the same, but you get the sequel trilogy. So
yeah, sure.
I don't know. It just seems like it was missed somehow, and they just like that's just an odd timing. It's odd timing.
It is. And I will say again, this is mostly just to let y'all know that it's coming out, because couldn't blame you if you missed this one on your pull list. But make sure to go check out our friends on the Cosmic Force, our comics podcast on the Youtini Network. They talk about them every week. They're going to be talking about this week. And they, of course, also review every comic, all the Marvel releases that come out every week. So I believe we'll have a review up on the site on Wednesday to see what they thought about it. I mean, again, it's a story from 5.5 years ago. Like, to put it into perspective, I'm pretty sure when they started work on this, am I right about this? Did The Mandalorian exist yet? When did The Mandalorian come out? Mandalorian came out. No, that was right before The Rise of Skywalker, right? That was
it?
That was 2019.
Was it 2019?
I can't remember.
Okay, yeah, that was 2019.
I was a resident during the pandemic. Like that entire time period of my life, it's a freaking blur. All right,
it's all fake. So more than likely, this comic was originally written and drawn during the first season of The Mandalorian, and it is now being released.
Why? Just why? I don't feel like comic novelizations really add that much either. I hate to say that, but like
I don't know who buys them, but they sell.
I don't either.
I don't know. It is a good summary of a movie or a book if you pick up a comic like a adaptation. So
I mean,
I think it was show you stuff. They can like interpret it different ways. Sure.
I famously remember that like when I had when the Youtini book boxes, Corey.
I
when you had
famously
the
remember
Youtini
something from my
book
own
boxes.
mind.
Yes. And you sent me the graphic novel of Thrawn, and I read it, and I was like, this is really good. And I had never read the book yet. And then I started reading the book, and I was like, where in the hell have I heard this story before? And so I would, like Dune in the Cliff Notes, I would have that graphic novel next to my bed, and I would go over the graphic novel of the stuff that I read, and it just like helped me with the details. So
you're like reading the book, and you're like, wow, I can literally see this in my mind. Like, why? How do I know what he looks like? It's like vivid.
It's so
am I like
where he's going?
Am I
There's
having
no
like
suspense.
am I having like a fever dream right now? I can literally see the action scene in my mind.
I feel like I can actually write out and finish this book. I'm gonna give Lucasfilm a call and be like, listen, guys, I got some kind of gift here. I think I can finish some of these stories that you got that are just laying out there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Real talk though, I love that experience of like watching or reading something that you're not sure that you've watched before, and like, but you forgot that you watched it anyway, and you still are not totally sure if you actually have seen this before. But you're like, God, this is so familiar.
Man, deja vu? Am I a fortune teller? Am I Thrawny knowing about the Andor trailer? Like,
for real.
Yeah, that was wild.
Oh gosh. Well, if you pick up The Rise of Skywalker, let us know what you think. I mean, again, we've infamously, this is an infamously, Back on the Living Force, our longest, most controversial episode ever was our dislike, essentially, of The Rise of Skywalker, which we walked back a decent amount.
That was horrible. We walked it back. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
maybe one of the, I don't know, worst experiences we ever had. We realized halfway through the episode, we're like, this actually sucks and it's not fun. Like, why are we complaining about this?
Yeah, and we revisited it a while back, and I think it's still fair to say a lot of us don't. It's not like on our top films of Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But the novelization does a ton. Is really good, Ray Carson. So if you start to like the comic and you haven't read the novelization, pick that up. I'm sure there's like a $3 Kindle sale on it every once in a while. It's been out for a bit. Again, it's been 5 years since that movie came out. So,
God, did we recorded that 5 years ago? Oh my God,
5 years
it's
wild. So
don't go back and listen to that.
Don't. It's not in your feed anyway. You can't find it.
They might have some good images of the essence from Darth Sidious. Just like, spoiler alert, his essence moved out and it went into his body. I'm so sorry, everybody.
His essence. Don't talk about his essence. It's disrespectful, Wes. Honestly.
All right, I am not going to be disrespectful to our audience by subjecting them to any more of this tonight. We have had a heck of a show. Make sure you go pick up Mask of Fear and The Rise of Skywalker #1 this week. And watch that Andor trailer 8 more times, my friends. But that's enough of our disrespect, because that'll do it for this week's episode of the Youtini Show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us and celebrating Star Wars. It feels so good to be back in the release of a new show. Can't wait for more Andor, but a special thank you to our community, of course, especially Brian Dooley, Carl Sander, Anthony Shulo, James Taylor, and Michael Fry, and our High Council for their support. Make sure you tune in tomorrow over at Youtini.com to check out our full review of The Mask of Fear, and we will be back next Monday with whatever else happens in this crazy galaxy far, far away. Until then, may the Force be with you.